Summer may be over, but South Carolina athletics are just heating up. From volleyball to football, we've got all fall sports covered in this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Welcome to Season 4 of Capital City Sports. I'm Emma Milner. We weren't the only ones back in Columbia this week as the volleyball team hosted their first match of the season against the Charlotte 49ers. CCS reporter Melvin Perry was at the Carolina Volleyball Center on Tuesday.
On Tuesday night, Gamecock Volleyball returns to the Carolina Volleyball Center for their first home match of the 2019 season. The Gamecocks' strong offensive presence allowed them to hold the lead for the first set. The Gamecocks remained dominant for most of the second set, increasing their kill count significantly. In the third set, the 49ers started to show a fighting effort, but the Gamecocks pushed them back and came out with a 3-0 win. Winning their first home match, the Gamecocks looked to claim their first rivalry win Thursday night, 7 o'clock at Clemson.
The men's soccer team won their third straight match in overtime on Wednesday. Ethan Still was at Stone Stadium for the Gamecocks' defeat over Mercer.
Thanks, Emma. The Gamecocks men's soccer team would finish their homestand here at Stone Stadium against the Mercer Bears. Mercer, coming into this match, was 4-0, and the Gamecocks themselves sported a 2-1 record. The match began with a possession struggle really for the first 20 minutes, but both teams would follow by upping the aggression. Bunyamin Yusufoglu made 2 saves for the Gamecocks, and on the other end, J.D. DeRose faced shots from Hitzeman, Banahan, and Monheimer. Both teams would continue their offensive pressure in the second half, with each team getting a shot inches away from the goal. Parker League would eventually be given a yellow card, and Mercer would use that to establish offensive pressure, totaling 10 corner kicks in the second. Around the 75-minute mark, momentum would shift towards the Gamecocks, who found multiple runs through the Mercer defense, but had no shots on goal to show for it. Once again, this game would go to overtime, and the aggression would continue. In the 94th minute, the Gamecocks would corral the ball in their defensive zone, spreading it around on their advancement, and capped it all off with a Tucker Monheimer goal to defeat the Bears 1-0. After 3 straight overtime victories, the Gamecocks finish off their homestand with a 3-1 record. They will travel to play Marshall University on Saturday, September 14th at 11 a.m. For Capital City Sports, I'm Ethan Still. Back to you, Emma.
That win puts South Carolina within 1 game of 500 as a program. A lot has happened in South Carolina football since we've been away. An ACC loss, a change at quarterback, and many Twitter emotions later. The Gamecocks hosted number 2 Alabama on Saturday. Our very own Tom Santinella was at Williams-Brice Stadium for the SEC Showdown.
Thanks, Emma. It looked like there was an upset brewing early at Williams-Brice, but it was all Alabama after the first quarter. South Carolina's inability to finish in the red zone and the Crimson Tide's explosive offensive performance propelled them to an impressive 47-23 victory. South Carolina welcomed back the last SEC East quarterback to beat Alabama as Stephen Garcia led the Gamecocks chant, electrifying the crowd. It was Alabama that seemed to open with all the energy as they marched down the field for a score. Parker White almost gave the Gamecocks the lead with a field goal and a rushing touchdown, but a holding call negated the run. Tua Tagovailoa was lights out in the first half, connecting on 3 touchdowns, including this 81-yarder to Henry Ruggs III, propelling the Crimson Tide to a 14-point halftime lead.
Remember, you are not alone.
Those in attendance were reminded it's more than a game. Everyone in the stadium held up a 3 on the first play of the third quarter, commemorating Ryan Helinski's late brother and promoting mental health awareness. Helinski would lead the Gamecocks down the field for another field goal, but it was all Alabama from then on out as they dominated on both sides of the ball as Tagovailoa finished with a career-high 5 passing touchdowns. Alabama went on to win their 25th straight game against an SEC East opponent by a final score of 47-23. The Gamecocks will look to right the ship when they go to Missouri to take on the Tigers next week. For Capital City Sports, I'm Tom Santinello. Back to you, Emma.
That's all we have for you this week. Be sure to tune in next Monday at 12 for more Gamecock coverage, but stay updated throughout the week by following us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV. For Capital City Sports, I'm Emma Milner. Have a good one.